So welcome to another episode of The Lab. As y'all know, we talk a little bit about creativity, business, and more. Y'all, welcome to our backyard. Welcome to the place that we are at our happiest. We get to talk about business. We get to talk about the creativity that we put into the work that we do into our companies. So this is another solo one, but we got a chance today. If you haven't seen The Lab Before the Lab, check it out. It is out, where you could see our reflections 2 years ago at what we were doing, man. As you all know, Baron McQueen, the man, the myth, the legend himself, is with us.
I'm here. It's funny to watch some of that old stuff, but 2023 was a year of content for me. So it was just like, y'all, it's stuff from 2023 y'all still ain't even seen that we're gonna trickle out in 2024. So I got enough content from 2023 to get me all the way through 2024. Let's be clear.
A lot of stuff in the hard drives, man. But this is the one thing that I always tell people, and I think we always preach it when it comes down to document the journey, regardless of the quality that you think you may have or the access to the equipment that you think you may have. Pulling out your phone and just putting the content out there allows you to document where you were in that time. Yeah. When we look back at that video, we get to see ourselves in this moment where we didn't understand maybe team building. I could just think back 2 years ago, right? Like us having those conversations, delegating the work, so that way we don't have to be in the business. And lately, I sent you a video around this, around how to price a business correctly or price your services correctly. I don't know if you got to the point where he outlined, or someone in the audience asked, why can't I just do the work because I really love to do the work? And we're sitting here as very passionate creatives. Yeah. We like to be behind the cameras. Yeah. We like to be doing the work. But the perspective that he shared is that if you can hire someone to do that same work for less, you're costing your business money.
Every time you work.
Every single time you work. Even though you think you're making the money back because you're paying yourself or whatever, but your hourly rate is more than what you would pay someone else 100%. To do it. I think I asked you that question the other day about like, what was your hourly rate? Now that you had a chance to see that and reflect to it, like, does that change your hourly rate, or do you feel like you got to increase it?
I think because of now the businesses that I'm in versus when I knew my hourly rate, I'm at a different space in business now. That, like, if you're thinking about that video you was talking about, like, he was like, yo, give me an example of a project. So I know okay, this was a project, how many hours you put into it. And then he broke down, okay, this person, you basically were paid $54 an hour for that campaign, right? And then he broke down, okay, well, if I would have hired the DP, I would have hired the editor, I would have hired the audio guy, man, I would have made $1,500 and only paid $500, and then I didn't have to do anything. But now that I'm in this PR space, now I got to look at what's the PR looks like, and then what's my time dedicated. So I think I haven't gotten to like a project that I can see what those numbers look like now. Because then, yeah, that'll be the step. Like, how can I not be calling to make sure the client gonna make it on time to a podcast? You feel me? That's why we're filming. Let's be clear.
How can you delegate that?
How can I say, Brooke, make sure she's not late to the podcast? Why am I doing that? I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
Well, I know a lot of the people that watch this stuff and watch your content, they are 9-to-5ers, solopreneurs starting to get into entrepreneurship, understanding business practices. Listen, if y'all didn't prepare from a content strategy standpoint in 2023, like, at the very least, understanding that you have to be consistent, that you have to create content that you're already creating, like things that you're already doing, so you're not going outside of your way to do the other stuff. Let me just tell you or warn you, 2024 is going to add a layer of complexity to entrepreneurship that will literally, it is the typhoon wave coming. If y'all ain't ready, goodbye. Peace. I'll see you in the hobby shop.
I think the tough part now about entrepreneurship is all the people that everybody was watching in 2022 and 2023. They ran out of plays. So now you don't even have no content to consume their next play yet until they actually film it. So at what point are you gonna be like, all right, well, let me just stop watching these people make plays, and what's the play I should be doing for me? Not like what's their next thing that they're into that it's like, oh, he made some quick money. But all of these people transitioning into all of these different spaces because that didn't last what they was doing. Everybody was cleaning credit. Everybody was running the play on business credit, and everybody was doing trucking, and everybody was doing crypto and Turo. And I just seen a new JT pocket watcher that Bitcoin Rodney just got arrested for a $7 million crypto scam. And I just seen him at Brian Breach's birthday party. Like, it's like weird. So it's like, yo, these plays catch up to you, especially when these plays get at another level that you getting on the Fed's radar.
Yeah.
You can't be running plays. Just do good business.
That's it. That's really, if you think about like, what is the best recommendation I could give someone starting out today? Do good business. Start there. We've been in the streets. We get what it's like. It's a slippery slope when you get accustomed to seeing every single opportunity that comes your way. And some of those opportunities, they may be on the side of like good business, or some opportunities may be on the side of bad business. And I would say in the past, wholeheartedly, I'm going to admit, I succumb to the temptation of easy money, of the quick play, of, hey, let's just set this thing for 30 days. Let's see if we could do a quick thing, grab the money and run, right? Kind of situation. Nothing illegal, because I'm not going to be doing crazy stuff like that. But the idea is that you're going through quick situations, right? Quick things that aren't going to last a long time. Yeah. What I've realized doing this over and over and over is that it's not a sprint, it is a marathon. And if you don't have a good foundation, if you don't have a good reason why you're going for whatever you're going for, you're going to very easily be taken down. Or squirrel moment where you're going to just lose focus and go to another business, right? And I think that was us a couple of years ago. It's not even like that long ago. Even in the studio, there was multiple clients that I was like, oh, photos, commercial work, TikTok work. Okay, cool. Now you don't see me talking about nothing else coming in the studio unless it's podcasting, period. Maybe some Save the Creatives photography, but that's about it. But the more focused we got, the more success, or the more set up for success we were, I think.
I agree. I don't talk real estate capture. I don't talk Courier Correct. I don't talk Brand Castle. I don't talk Paramount Designs. It's all about big reach.
Let alone all the other stuff that hasn't even seen the light of day.
Yeah.
That's inside of your idea trunk.
Don't even
mention those things.
But I don't even talk South Florida Digest. I don't talk Da Vinci Mag, Digital Buzz. I don't even talk that stuff. Big reach. That's it.
And what have you seen now, like, because of it? Like, this is the first month. We're heading into the end of the first month of 2024. What are some of the things you could reflect back to on just from January 1st till now?
I think 2023 was the year of me planting the seeds about what I'm doing with Big Reach, that this is the barrier to entry to even talk Big Reach. It was just like, yo, it starts at 3,000, right? That's just the conversation. This is basic PR. Like, this is not even going ham. This is the barrier to entry is 3K. So I got comfortable enough saying to myself, I'm not going to let nobody talk me into the $1,500 a month retainer. Because no, why? Why I'm even going to entertain that if I'm setting my barrier? Because then that's when I attract the wrong clients, right? I get that one person that couldn't pay the 3K, but he could have paid 2K. And then now he told, yeah, man, I was working on my PR. I'm working with this company. They wanted 3K, but you know what I mean? Hit them up, man. They willing to work with all kind of budgets. No, we're not. I'm not willing to work with all kind of budgets at all because I don't want to attract those be the headache people. I love this meme that says the invoice was sent and then the $5,000 client has some questions with all of these things, and then the $50,000 client just says sent.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh yeah, give me those clients. I'll take just one of those versus 10 of the headaches to get that same 50K. So it's like, nah, I'm good.
We always talk about life be lifing, right? So let's keep it funky. You moved from Delaware down here with a car full of sneakers, expecting a job, came here, didn't have a job. right? You learned how to survive from being in the streets. So you know the game of the hustle. So you're like, I'm going to keep doing whatever I got to do in order to make this bread. And you implemented, hey, lowering your prices to climb that ladder.
Mm-hmm.
But when you've made it to a certain level, now, let's say today,
Yeah.
you lost all of the $3,000 retainer clients and you got to start from scratch. You still have the company open. You got to pay the bills. What keeps you from still saying no to the lower cost clients and saying, I have faith that this will work out and I'm going to get this client by any means necessary? Like, I'm going to say no to these lower cost clients because I'm going to get this other client.
Yeah.
Because the reason I asked that question, because I'm still in the same mentality, is like sometimes it's not that doubt doesn't creep in my mind. It's like the rent is due and I have to get sessions in the studio.
Yeah.
Do I get those sessions that I used to have to fall back to and come and do the work?
Fillers.
Right? Or do I actually just continue to delegate, continue to feed my engineers and just up the sales, like try to push past it? Because the rent is fucking due at the first of the month. I got to do something, right? Yeah. So it's like, how do you continue in your line of work to continue that faith and say, no, I can't bring my price down because I know that's going to cause more problems?
Yeah. The business suffers in that time frame. The business suffers is because whatever reserves I've made get depleted when I'm in this stage.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, yeah, I could go back and get those little $500 and just to cover
write an article, kind of situation.
Do the little a la cartes, I could do those, and we still do them here and there, right? Let's be transparent, but retainer clients, I can't do it, right? Because now I hoard myself out.
Mm-hmm.
See, if I that same guy that you sent me about the thing, he says a thing the other day. If you get too many yeses in a row, that means your price is too low.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I get 3 yeses in a row, I got up the price.
Mm-hmm.
Because that means it's too cheap.
That's a hard realization to come to, though. Especially maybe you're looking around your other competitors and your other competitors are at a certain price and you have to now, you're getting so many yeses that you're like, I have to now go above my competitor's price. Shit.
I got to get some no's.
Now they're going to tell me no because my competitor is cheaper. But what sets me apart, really? That's what it comes down to, right?
Yeah. So for me, it's just like, I know people, stop trying to sit with me. You know you don't have a 3K. Right? Don't
pick your brain.
You know you don't have a 3K. They hit you with it. I had a girl literally stand me up for 3 meetings to close a deal.
Oh, the coffee ones?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Meeting this girl at Starbucks. She like, yo, I'm ready to sign the proposal. Let's get the retainer paperwork. She wanted to do it in person. I'm like, that's cool. Meet at the Starbucks. She stood me up 3 times. I gave her 3 times. And I still watch my stories.
Oh, and she never really corrected that?
Never even.
Like, never messaged you or anything around it? Wow.
And I was just like, now I got to think, where did that lead come from? And I have removed myself from those type of events where that lead came from. Because it's a cesspool over there. Right?
Look, not to knock the networking game, because that's also a realization that we made in 2023 and heading into 2024. We're like, we have to say no to 100%. A lot of these events that we used to go to, not because we don't want to support. Like, yeah, we can support if we have the free time to support. But if our goal is to continue to grow our businesses, every move we make should yield a result. Whether that's a new lead, a new relationship, whatever, a new collaboration, but it has to be a positive one. It can't drain our time, drain our energy, because it's going to take us away from the percentage of stuff we got to be focused on, because we're delegating the other amount of work. So we got to offset us not working the business and working on the business to be able to actually work on the business. We have to offset it.
I think the new feedback loop for people who put events together is to actually ask other people who have attended, yo, did you get any leads from coming to my event?
You mentioned that, yeah.
Because
Nobody's doing that though.
What am I putting people in a room for and nobody can do no business together? What's the purpose of networking?
Good point.
Why am I putting an event together for realtors when it's all realtors in the same building? Why am I not strategically putting a networking event with people that collab? That's why our mixer did so well for Big Reach. We had business people mixed with the creative people, where these two can piggyback off each other and actually do some work because one will pick up where the other lacks, right? The business people can teach the creatives the business and vice versa. Nobody's doing strategic mixers and networking events. They just like, yo, there's the tickets. This is the Eventbrite. Sign up, right? But are you putting people in the rooms that can actually do good business? Are they actually doing good business in their business as it is now? So if they're not even doing good business, why are you even putting them in a room with potential leads that's not even going to be no good synergy? Nobody's going to make no money. We just going to be all there drinking and exchanging Instagrams.
So you bring up a good point, and I think that this is going to cause waves in all these event planners that are putting stuff out there. It's like, are you doing it just to fill the room and have warm bodies in the room and check off a box that says, hey, I got a bunch of people together?
Yeah.
Or are you taking the time to curate who's going to come to these things so that way the stories or the impact they make with each other is greater than the impact that you're trying to make with the event image or the way it looks or whatever? It's a hard pill to swallow, I think.
So like the tough part for us is we've been invited to some great stuff that there's a totem pole for us, right? And when you invite us to an event, yeah, if we can make it out and support, that's cool. But you got to understand, we're comparing your event to past stuff we've been to. So when you're not even hitting the food box or the open bar box,
we talk about that,
or just the experience box or the venue box, or like you got to be hitting these boxes, right? You can't. If we just got off the Royal Caribbean, is one of the first big ones we did. Well, anything after this got to set the bar. So in January, it's not even the end of the month, we've done the Puttery, we've done Rap Snacks, we've done Royal Palm, we've done the Mind Travel, we just did Moxie, we're doing Sugar Factory tonight. Like, this is still January. We 6 to 10 events in already. So it's like, but these is big conglomerates. So like, it's not that we bougie, but our palate has consumed the caviar. So you can't give me Pop-Tarts. You feel me?
It goes back to throwing. There's a specific standard, I think, that we've learned that yield that result that you're talking about, where people can do business together. And yeah, we joke about the box of having food and drinks there. But I mean, think about it, y'all. Food unites people, drinks loosen people up. You're already providing the elements to an event that are going to yield communication. Now, what else do you have to do? All right, let's create an experience. This is the one thing that I think no one has done yet, and I think we're going to have to be the ones to do it. You know me, I always like to give people their credit. I reached out to the company that I saw doing this in California. They hosted an event, full red carpet for every single person that was invited, was able to go on the red carpet, get a photographer, take their photo, all that good stuff. Then they had a dedicated person to go with this, whoever it was. Every single person had a dedicated person to go with them to do an introduction to someone else in the room, right? Like this, we're talking about next level type of events here. To get that experience of what it's like for you to meet someone new and actually build the trust and do business. Like, I want to see that happen in Miami.
Shout out to Fifth and Core. I have to give Fifth and Core credit because when we went to their Great Connect event, was it their Great Connect event? Or was the other one?
The one before it. I think that's the one that you first went to.
So the Great Connect was the first one. So the second one at the
Grand Palms?
Yeah.
Oh, the Signature Grand.
Signature Grand.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of that at their event, and I hadn't experienced that.
From the first one?
Correct. So shout out to Kira.
Nice.
Green. Shout out to Lexi Becker because they literally found me and said, hey, Baron, I need you to introduce you to this person.
Yeah.
And they literally was walking me around the room that day. But this is before I spoke on stage that night. And she's like, I felt like this would be a good connection. I wanted you two to meet. And then they just walk off. So that was my first experience and a taste of that.
Yeah.
So basically, you talking about that on steroids, though.
Well, yeah, on steroids, because imagine now you're used to that, man. You're an influencer, right? You you established the title of influencer after getting invited to X amount of shows, and people were like, "What are you doing behind the camera? We invited you to come hang out." You're like, "Okay, I guess I'm an influencer now, right?" But imagine the experience of you're going to an event. Obviously, they need to RSVP. They need to see who's coming, right? So you're going to send in a list of the people that come with you. What if you got the treatment along with the people that you invited to come with you? No one, they probably have never experienced something like that. Imagine someone says, hey, welcome, Mr. Baron McQueen and Mr. Martinez and Mr. So-and-so. We're here. Thank you for all of you for being here. Not shooting out Robin, right? Because she does do an amazing job. But if you're going to play at that level, go all the way.
Yeah.
Like, just take it all the way. What is it going to cost you to give someone that's going to meet Mr. Baron McQueen a list? Hey, make sure you introduce yourself to not only Mr. Baron McQueen, but whoever he brings. Because whoever Baron McQueen brings,
it's close.
You have to be.
Yeah.
You vetted the person. You didn't just bring someone just to bring them.
Yeah.
You probably brought a client.
Yeah.
You probably brought someone like your assistant. Bro, it only makes sense, right? But I think that it's a lot of work to do that.
It's a lot of personnel.
A lot of personnel to do that, right? And a lot of organization and structure and making sure you don't drop the ball on something. It's a tricky thing to do.
That's why I don't do events. This is why I don't do events. Because I get on this microphone and I don't badmouth, but I critique everybody's event. That if I do something, I'm a nervous wreck. That I'm not hitting none of the boxes I tell people they need to hit.
Yo, no lie, you just bring that up, and it's so funny because I was thinking of an idea the other day. Like, I recommend some things to do for podcasting, and I can clearly, vividly remember me doing the opposite of the advice that I've given, right? So I'm going to cut up a reel. I'm going to show y'all that I'm not perfect, and there are moments where I go against my own advice. But that's the reason I'm giving this advice, is because I've been in the trenches. I've hit my head on the wall.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where a lot of people are sitting in their chairs or couch, whatever, watching us, and they want to get up and be a spokesperson for whatever they do, but they feel like I'm not an expert yet, so I can't talk about it. It's let's just talk about it for a second. I'm not even going to share my opinion. How do you feel about someone that's not an expert in something talking about a specific thing, giving advice?
I think advice is just based off experience, right? You just giving your perspective on what you went through, whatever there's obstacles, successes, losses. That makes you an expert because that was your journey to say, right? I can't say you're not an expert because you've learned something about that maybe I didn't know through your experience. Maybe you just don't say you're an expert. You just say, hey. That's why I liked the word strategist when I used strategist, right?
I remember that, yeah.
I used to go through this like personal branding expert and and I was just like, damn, branding changes so much. How can I be the expert if something just came out yesterday? So it's like if I use the word strategist, that's me still trying to figure it out, right? There's some changes. Google done updated something. Now we got the AI is prevalent everywhere. So it's
what's that Google Colab that you just found out about today?
Oh my God, what is that? It's like it's always forever changing in any industry. Everybody's industry is changing. I was doing the when we was doing the PR masterclass, I was doing the case study on Monique's studio, right? And it's like we talk about these SWOT analyses, we talk about these things that they gonna need help with. Well, the first thing I'm thinking about is that because we know about Dolby Atmos, now anybody that has a studio is behind the technology already. And you could have just built your studio last year. Or are you even thinking about, well, now because of AI, now the home studios sound just as good.
Studio in a box.
So now this is a market share you lose because, if I just got a good solid microphone with some good audio that AI can clean up and yikes, the home studio about to go through the roof even more now.
Yeah.
So the technology aspect, even depending on no matter what space you in, the technology is changing.
Yeah.
And that you can't be the expert if it's changing right now.
So you're talking about it from the standpoint of like expert versus just you going through the process, the experience, the perspective that you have to share during your journey, right?
Yeah.
So I want to now, I love that you shared it that way. Like that's your point of view around it. My side of the story is we all have unique characteristics. We all have unique personalities and all that stuff. And I reference this concept when I talk about virality. Whenever I say that you're viral already, people, they get taken aback. They're like, I don't understand what you mean because my view of viral is something different.
The numbers.
The numbers game, right? Yeah. Well, if you start to take the point of view of like, you are unique and there are going to be people that connect to your uniqueness and there are going to be people that don't, right? You sharing your journey and your struggle and your human characteristics allow you to be relatable, allow you to be trustworthy, allow you to make connections with people that are like-minded with you. Isn't that your goal to begin with? Like, does any business sit here and say, I want to do business with someone that doesn't get along with me?
Never.
I mean, unless you're Walmart, maybe.
Yeah, Walmart don't give a damn.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
they do not give a damn.
Right? But think about it from a branding standpoint. Now that we're applying some structure and yeah, you had some stuff that you were like, you internally knew like this was the right way to go for PR and marketing because of your perspective and your journey. Now that we're putting some structure and learning some of these things on Udemy and we got the whole exposure to some PR and branding is storytelling. Mm-hmm. How many times do you experience a business wanting to tell the same story as their competitor mm-hmm. and not being true to who they are because they're afraid that they're not going to look as professional or they're afraid that they're not going to look as polished? Mm. Like, your story is your story. Own it.
Yeah.
Right? You say it all the time. Like, you put on your lotion as you're driving and you get up on live and you're like, yo, I don't care if y'all think that I'm perfect. And if you do, buy. But for those of you that feel me, like, this is what I got.
Shout out to Vives Leaves for sending me a facial serum and a 2-step facial cleansing process that will help with my eczema. This is the power of being authentic, right? Because they sent me a product. I'm going to try the product. And now if the product actually works, that's a free testimonial that costs you nothing but product. They're not paying me to promote this. This is when the brands really come, because it's like, yo, that worked for him. Mm-hmm. Of course he gonna talk about it because he been using Eucerin for the longest. And depending on how I put my Eucerin on, after a certain time period, my skin will dry that Eucerin up and I'm back dry, right? So if this is something that will work, oh my gosh, you ain't gotta pay me per story, per post, per like, yo, if you got to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it. Yeah. And that's the power of the organic stuff when you service a client that has a pain point. Nobody never looking for the pain point.
Yeah.
The pain point is this is where you can deliver.
That's where you provide the solution. Yeah. I mean, that's why I go back to, imagine the power of that. Like, companies pay for people to post stuff because of their virality or because of their influence. Let's put it that way, because they're influencers.
Yeah.
Right. So here's this product, use it, but don't make it commercially. Like, I want you to be naturally using it, but you don't got eczema. Yeah. Like, well, hold up. It don't make no sense. So it's the same thing as like when we're going to networking events. Imagine the now word of mouth marketing free that you're going to get. You're going to do your thing because you're an influencer. You're going to make a reel. You're going to do your thing. Your audience is going to know you went to this event.
Yeah.
But everybody else that went with you, imagine the story they're going to be telling to their parents, their friends, their loved ones. You won't believe it. I went with Barron to this event and they actually treated me like I was an influencer. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Right? It just puts people at a point where they're valued and people aren't even listened to these days.
Yeah.
So just valuing can go a long way. And if any business is hearing us right now and you want to implement a branding strategy or some sort of promotional strategy, find people that really have the pain point and give them the solution and watch what happens. Watch the free marketing that you get.
So I worked on something today in ChatGPT that I asked ChatGPT to create my ideal client for PR.
Like, he give you a description of
Give me a
ideal client.
profile of my customer.
Like an analysis, a profile analysis.
Correct.
Ooh,
I've never done this for my business because I feel like everybody needs PR.
Yeah.
But because I'm at a price point,
Now you're targeting.
now I have to be a little more nichey, right?
Niche down. We had a conversation about niching down. If y'all want to see it, go through some of our previous labs. We talked a little bit about how to niche down. Or it was a live, actually.
But what I put in this, I said, can you build me a customer profile, right? I told it a little bit. I'm located in South Florida, public relations strategist. My ideal clients are seasoned business owners, startups, real estate agents, tax professionals, and all around entrepreneurs. I need you to help identify their wants, needs, obstacles, dream outcomes, challenges, and objections.
Wow.
So this is going to help me when I'm...
Even when you're doing consultations, that's good. I like that.
Why are not people not using ChatGPT, yo?
I don't know, freaking idea, man. Like, nowadays, if y'all are stuck, I don't know what to tell you. Talk to the computer. Like, you know?
If you can't afford a virtual assistant, or this is free, free virtual assistant, he's never going to not do the work.
Yeah, he's going to do it all.
He don't clock out.
No, not going to complain.
He don't take lunch.
Nope.
What are we doing?
I don't know. I really don't know.
All those beautiful captions y'all like on LinkedIn. Stanley do them.
You gave it a name.
Stanley do them. I prompt Stanley properly. Like, we got a really good relationship now. Like, he's like, knows my tone, and we good. If you got to treat it like, I don't know, I'm probably dating myself. Anybody had like gigapets?
Yeah.
I'm dating myself.
They have virtual ones now. You can put it on your phone.
Oh my God. So gigapet, you had to
feed it.
And treat your ChatGPT like a gigapet or a chia pet if he was growing one of those in the kitchen.
Look, I don't want to get people really into the rabbit hole, but go into the ChatGPT rabbit hole. There is literally free training out there that you can make it be 3 different people in your organization. So let's say you need an assistant, you need a social media manager, you need someone to do financials or whatever. You could have them talk to each other and solve problems for you.
And then call a meeting with all 3 of them.
Yeah, they all do it. It's wild, man. CapCut just released that you could train it with your voice to do voiceovers for those videos that you do voiceovers for. No longer have to speak. You just have to type whatever it is that you want to say, and it'll say it in your voice. Captions app. Sorry. Captions app. Not CapCut. Go to Captions app. There's a new button there that you could train it with your voice. And you can't.
How good is it compared to 11 Labs?
Try it. Let's try it and put it out and see if people could tell the difference if this was you or.
And what's Captions price point versus 11 Labs?
I don't know if they have a price point because right now they're promoting it, so it might be free trial situation.
Because I paid $22 a month for 11 Labs.
All right, so we're gonna actually do this, and before next Wednesday on the live, we'll share what it actually was like.
Yeah, because 11 Labs is tricky with my voice. It's like the polished version.
It sounds like. What does it sound? You want to do a interpretation?
It's my Braxton P. Hartnebrick version of Baron McQueen. That is just like too eloquent.
Too eloquent. Who knows, man? Maybe they figured out the algorithm or whatever.
They got to have a version to say like a slider that says, you want to make this a little slangier, a little hood. He got a little ghetto. He got a little ghetto in him. Add a little ghetto to the voice, and we good.
Look, man, we said it in 2023, even in the end of 2022. Yeah. AI is going to be the future. And now more and more people are experiencing AI in the apps that they already use.
Yeah.
That means you got hit by it.
Yeah, it's integrated
now. Now it's in your face. Do something now or you're just going to get run over later. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
You're going to be working at the factory.
McDonald's has damn robots serving you up now, bro.
You're going to be packaging Pringles at the local factory.
The bartenders, they have a robot that can do drinks.
I believe it. Once I seen the eyelash machine.
Oh, there's a eyelash one too.
Oh, the lash business about to be in trouble
God.
because you eliminating human error.
Yeah. Well, then you have to have somebody watch over the robot. I don't know. I don't know what's finna happen. Today is definitely a short one because Barry has to head over to an event. So we wanted to share some stuff with you. I mean, as you can see, we always have it off the top of the dome. We always have these combos. But man, let them know a little bit because we're now at the end. I want to start implementing some structures into these things. Let them know where they can find you. Remind them, if anybody new is now watching us, where can they find you? Where can they get your stuff?
Personally, you can find me at BaronMcQueen.com, BaronMcQueen.com. That's my personal, but make sure you go over to BigReachPR.com. And we got some case studies on there of just some stuff we've done for people's brands. You can see the team members, you can see the statistics and the stats and all of that. All of that is just the authority to say, like, we are who we say we are, right? And this is the show and prove concept of what we do, that we not just blowing smoke. These is the facts.
That's for sure. And if we're also looking for internships, anybody that's wanting us to take a look at your brand, we'll do social media audits. I think that's a cool one.
I'm working on a new lead magnet for 2024 to just as a giveaway, and it may be around like audit, quiz, quizzy audit, right?
I like it.
To help, right? We got to give some value before they pay the $3K.
I love it. And as y'all know, you can find my stuff at thefamousangel.com. You'll see some stuff for Co.Lab Studios there, Co.Lab Studios Miami. This is where we film the lab. If y'all are interested in getting your podcast off the ground, that is what I'm about. I talk about storytelling, overcoming those hurdles when you're trying to set up a podcast, monetization of that podcast. And as you can see, there is a reason why we're partnered together, because one hand helps the other. As you grow through creating your podcast, guess who is going to help you out with your PR and marketing? Big Reach, right? So come on down. This is what we're about. Thank you for hanging around for this one, and I hope to see you on the next lab.